Good morning. I think this is one of the most important questions that people have that need answered. And I also think it's something that is a big inhibitor to people making progress as quickly as they could in the intuitive eating process. My name is Tracy Brown. I'm a somatic nutrition dietitian and attuned eating specialist. And I want to talk today about this whole week has really been about just kind of dipping our toe. But there's so much to know and there's so much I don't know. But I want to share with you a little bit this week around basically our nervous system function and how that's impacting recovery and some things that I think that are important to you. And so thank you for joining live if you're here live, and we're going to jump in and get started. So what happens to our digestion when we are under stress? So I'm not going to really, this video today isn't going to be about like the normal like recovery digestive ups and downs. Like when I say recovery, I mean not just from, you know, identified eating disorders, but if you've been food restricting or you've had chaotic eating, like restricting, binging, that does take a toll on your digestion. Again, this is not a thing to shame you or feel like, okay, I caused all these problems. Again, I always raise my hand to like, if I would have known the consequences of food restriction, dieting, binging, over-exercising, I'm not sure if I would have signed on that dotted line unconsciously. I didn't know. I didn't choose anorexia. I had no clue that all those physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual things I was gonna have to go through to come out the other side. I didn't know that. But it happened, and it's one of those things. So how do we help our bodies? So we're not gonna really be talking about all of that today. I've done that in other videos, but I can always redo that at some point for you if you're interested. So, give me an emoji below if that's something you want to hear more about again. I don't mind redoing those videos because it's really important for you to understand, like, when you start eating more food and you haven't been eating enough food or your food's been chaotic, you're going to have delayed gastric emptying and motility issues at some point. So constipation, diarrhea, back and forth, gasiness, bloating, whatever. It's really normal. It's super uncomfortable, and there's nothing you can really do about it except for comfort measures. Make sure you visit your doctor if it really seems like something's not quite right here, and or you just kind of have to keep eating and being consistent. That will teach your body, one, that food is regularly coming and that you don't have to fix it by not eating. In fact, when you feel physically uncomfortable and you don't want to eat, probably the worst thing you can do is like, well, I'll eat when I'm hungry, but hunger maybe doesn't happen for a long time, and then it's this recapitulation. It's actually the same thing you can do if you are struggling with digestive issues when you're under chronic stress. What happens when we're under chronic stress, so we're in lots of, let's say, sympathetic fight or flight activity, you are decreasing, again, your digestive activity, so all of it, like saliva and enzymes and motility. And so you feel like you can go for hours and not eat. What's happening, you're just running off a lot of like adrenaline and cortisol, which does mobilize some glucose to just go directly to your bloodstream. So you have the energy to run from tigers and do all these things, but it's not sustained like, adequate caloric nutrition, calories or varied nutrition. And so our bodies break down from that over time, which of course is going to impact your organ systems. And so if you're struggling with it, if you might want to raise your hand here if you watch this after, if you're doing the replay and recognizing, like, yeah, like when I'm real stressed, I lose my appetite. Or when I'm real stressed, I actually feel all these sensations so intensely that it makes me either not want to eat to not feel it, or I eat to ground myself. Super normal stuff. Those are defensive strategies to deal with the sympathetic activity. And either way, those aren't attuned eating. They're just ways we're trying to cope with the sensations and get away from the threat. So how do we fix that? Well, a couple things that I would just start with is like, can you recognize it's happening? That I'm running on adrenaline and I can feel it, and it's not even a belly feeling. It might be a jumpy, twisty, turny feeling. It could be heaviness in your chest. It could be that all you feel is like your jaw is so tight that your whole face hurts. And that's so loud. These other sensations are so loud that you don't notice your hunger. So the first step, can you notice your body, just your body state? Then it's like sometimes you have to use your brain and say, like, when have I eaten last? Or what did I eat last? Why am I still feeling food obsessed? I just ate some food. It could be that you're not satisfied. And so then you start to use some of those attuned eating skills around like checking in, what would be the best match for the hunger and fullness, or the the need you feel like you have. Like if you're feeling pretty drained, you probably don't want to bump yourself up with more coffee or like fast acting carbohydrates. It'll work. It'll give you a little spurt of energy again, but what your body needs is I think something more lasting and stable. So those are some things to just mentally be thinking through. And lastly, we've got to plug the holes of like chronic stress. If you are running, or eating to kind of keep yourself from running, long term, those aren't ways of thriving. They're survival. It's a survival way of eating and living, and it's a survival strategy, but it's not recovery. And so it's going to be really important to, okay, notice your body, use your brain a little bit if you can, to like, when did I last eat? What would probably be a best match for what I have available with the resources I have, as well as, if I was taking care maybe of somebody else, what would I feed them after a day like this? That might be another thing you could think about. And lastly, we got to start plugging the holes of how come your body is feeling so on the run. Is it real tigers, or is it in our mind, or something that we're still dealing with, or something that our body, like our brains know better, but our bodies are still running? What's happening in the system? And of course, if you need more support with that, that's something I'd love to be able to help you through, not just from a talking mental perspective, but also literally in the moment. We will work through helping your system settle and bringing as big a shift as we can that your body can tolerate in that moment to increase your capacity, so your signals are way more clear. So let me know if this video was helpful to you. Thank you everybody who's watching live. I'm actually getting ready to hop off. I apologize about that, but please go back and watch it through again. And I would love to hear your comments about like, oh my gosh, this makes sense of what's going on with my digestion, why I don't feel hungry, why I'm eating things I don't want to eat, but it feels like the right thing to do at the time, or I don't know what else to do. If you recognize any of that in yourself, let me know below. And again, those are some things that I'd be happy to talk to you individually about if that's something you want to work through. All right, I hope you're having a really great day, and if this video was encouraging or thought-provoking for you and you want to know more, again, share with your friends and let me know more about like how you would like me to go deep. So I have a very good, well, I shouldn't toot my own horn. I have a good discussion piece tomorrow about chronic shame and somatic shame that I hope you guys look at tomorrow morning. It's about this time I'm releasing it, some kind of journal prompts, and then Friday will be our Nervous System 101 Q&A. So if you have questions, be making some notes, okay? Let me look at my schedule real quick and I'll tell you when we will do that video. Yeah, likely we'll be doing that video first thing in the morning, 8:30ish in the morning. So be hopping on live at that time. And if you have questions about this topic, you want to know more, but you just don't know where to go, please let me know. I'll talk to y'all real soon. And for all those who are live, thank you so much for coming live. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.